Your doctor left a surgical instrument inside of you during the course of your surgery. How much time do you actually have to bring a lawsuit in the state of New York when you finally realize what happened? Would you like to learn the answer? Come join me as I share with you this great information. Hi, I'm Gerry Oginski. I'm a New York medical malpractice and personal injury trial lawyer practicing law in the state of New York. To answer the question, I have to ask a question. And the question is, was this instrument something that was designed and intended to remain inside of you? And there's a key reason why I have to ask that question. You see, in New York, if this was something that was intended to remain inside of you, and the doctor didn't tell you about it, and now you learn about it weeks, months, years later, what happens then is that if this was supposed to remain inside of you, you would typically then have only 2.5 years from the date of the original wrongdoing within which to bring a lawsuit against a private doctor or private hospital. And the key words are private doctor or private hospital. Now, if this was an instrument that was never, ever designed to remain inside of you, let's say a scalpel, let's say a surgical clamp, and that's something that never should have been left inside, but for whatever reason was, that means you would have only 1 year from the date that you actually discovered this inside of you, or when you reasonably should have expected to have discovered this. Now, that last part of it is also very important. Now, why do I say that? Because you may have gone to different doctors and a doctor said, listen, I think you should get a CAT scan, or I think you should get an x-ray to see what's going on. And you say, you know what, I'm not going to do that, I'm not going to bother, it's a waste of my time. Now, if you had done that, you would reasonably have been expected to discover this particular surgical instrument inside of you at that time. So it all depends on a number of different factors about when it is that you should have recognized this or when you actually discovered it. So why do I share this great information with you? I share it with you to give you an insight and an understanding into what goes on when evaluating whether or not your surgical instrument that was left inside of you following your surgery qualifies as something to give you what's called the date of discovery or goes back to the original event, the original surgical procedure, which is typically 2.5 years for bringing a lawsuit against a private doctor or private hospital. You know, I realize you're watching this because you have questions or concerns about your own particular matter. Well, if your matter happened in New York and you do have legal questions, what I encourage you to do is pick up the phone and call me. I can answer your legal questions. You know, this is something I do every single day and I'd love to talk to you. You can reach me at 516-487-8207 or by email at Gerry, Gerry, at oginski-law.com. That's it for today's quick video. I'm Gerry Oginski. Have a fantastic day.